Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's Wednesday, which means we are live for New Comic Book Day. Wednesday is new release day at comic shops. And so, Dark Horse Comics, we always try to present a new comic book day rundown so you know what's new and what you can get at comic shops and also, in some cases, bookstores. So I'm Kara, and joining me today is he's always my stream partner in crime, but usually behind the scenes, Gary. Thank you so much for joining me, Gary,
Hello,
today.
everybody. My pleasure to be here. Always a pleasure to be here. I'm not always on camera, so wonderful to see everybody, or at least if you're able to see me. Welcome to our uh, Smoky Wednesday live stream. Hope everybody's
Yeah.
staying safe. Thankfully, we in the Pacific Northwest are much safer this week. Winds have died down. Things are getting better in our region, but our thoughts and support goes out to everyone who's facing all of the challenges of all of the crazy natural phenomenon happening these days.
Yeah, so the Dark Horse Comics offices are based just outside Portland, Oregon, for anyone who's not familiar. And we, of course, have been pretty directly affected by the wildfires that are raging across Oregon and Washington and California. And I know there are fire issues in other places too, but we were under an evacuation level one, which is the lowest level notice last week. You might have seen that announcement go out on our social media channels. A number of our staff members did indeed have to evacuate. Some of them are still out and kind of working their way back. So thank you for your patience. Anyone who is awaiting anything, we're a little bit slow. That plus COVID. So thanks for bearing with us. But we are now downgraded. So safe. The fires are being worked on by the firefighters. And if you would like to support, I know there's been a lot of questions about this too. If you'd like to support in any way, the best resource we can recommend is the Red Cross. The Red Cross has local chapters in the Pacific Northwest, and they are on the ground helping directly with those who have lost homes and resources. And so we would encourage you to check out the redcross.org and support if you would like to do that. Yeah. Meanwhile, we're getting back to normal. So thanks for bearing with us too. We're a little bit later than we usually stream on Wednesdays, but we're here now. So thank you for joining us. The
Yeah.
trailer that you watched is one of the big features we have this week, actually, new Umbrella Academy comics. It's the first spin-off series, and it stars Klaus, or the Seance. So we will definitely tell you more about that in a few moments here. Just a couple quick reminders before we get into the full rundown. Um, if you would like to join us in the chat, you can enter to win copies of the Umbrella Academy, You Look Like Death, #1. And we also have a special giveaway item. It's a copy of the new fantasy prose novel. Dark Horse does, in fact, publish some prose, or, just words, no pictures, occasionally. And so we have the first in a trilogy this week, The Return of the Wizard King. So we have some signed copies, actually, by Chad Corey, the author. And so whoever wins today's stream giveaway will get one of those signed copies, as well as copies of The Umbrella Academy, You Look Like Death, issue #1. And so to enter, just enter the keyword Klaus in the chat. Just once, only once. You don't need to enter it more than that. Your entry will be counted. It's Klaus, Klaus. And other than that,
And
you can
just the
ask us
standard
questions.
reminder, yeah, always questions in the
Yeah.
chat. And then the standard reminder that all the books we're discussing today will be available from comic shops, bookstores, anywhere you would normally buy books. We always encourage everyone to shop locally as much as possible. So many comic shops and bookstores can be found via Comic Shop Locator, as well as indiebound.org, as online resources to help find local shops near you.
Yes, we know that our books are also available via big websites like Amazon. But if you can shop local, it's definitely helpful during COVID. So always a reminder. Single issues, of course, comic shops. And digital as well. The digital release will coincide the same day as a single issue release. And then in the case of books, it's about 2 weeks later, just a heads up there. Which leads us into our digital sales. Gary, which sale are we looking at first here?
This week's hot item is The Witcher and Cyberpunk. So our good friends at CD Projekt Red are releasing a new book game you might have heard of. Some of the people are excited about Cyberpunk 2077. So our digital sales kicking off this week with comics and graphic novels based on our partnership with CD Projekt Red. So we've got As of last week, the new first issue of Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team is available. For better or worse, it's so new we can't have it in the sale, but everything else is available for 50% off. Of all of the World of Cyberpunk, we've got the art book available for 50% off, as well as all of the Witcher comics and art books are available for that 50% off discount. You can find everything at digital.darkhorse.com, and then all of our digital sales are mirrored on our partners like Comixology and other retailers, both digitally and where other books are sold.
So if you are waiting and anticipating Cyberpunk 2077, which I know many of us are, the comics just launched last week. Really exciting. It's a really cool story written by Cullen Bunn. With Miguel Valderrama on the art, and it's just gorgeous. So you probably tore through that pretty quickly if you did read it, which means now you can dive into the world of Cyberpunk 2077. We did an unboxing of the big deluxe edition of that art book here on stream a few weeks back. It's gorgeous. It's such a beautiful art book. So I definitely encourage you to check it out if you're interested in Cyberpunk at all. And then, of course, the Witcher comics are classic. Everybody who loves the games, I think, will enjoy those as well, because you get some new and original stories. And yeah, the artwork is spectacular. So the art books, too, are a lot more directly related to The Witcher 3. So check those out if you haven't already. Now is a good time, because 50% off is a great price.
Especially if you find yourself thumbing back through or watching back through The Witcher on Netflix. It's really fun to get those interstitial stories between things you find in the world of the game, things you find in the world of the show, all of it being related. It's really fun to tie it in and just get more backstory about all those characters that are so much fun to watch as they deal with hijinks and bad times and good times.
Yeah, you follow Geralt on more adventures. You don't see too much of the other core characters until, like, they'll make, small appearances in some of the comics. Eventually you'll see some Yennefer, some Ciri, some Dandelion, because of course. So yeah, definitely worth checking out if you're a fan of The Witcher. We do have one other digital sale right now as well. Currently, it is the Lone Wolf and Cub manga digital sale. We don't always have rights to the digital versions of manga, so it's actually pretty exciting that we can offer this. Definitely check this out. It's the manga epic, samurai tale by Kazuo Koike and Goseki Kojima. If you're not familiar with it, absolutely, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's an amazing story spanning many volumes, and all of those volumes are 50% off right now. I know that's something that has been in high demand, and it's a bit more difficult to find in print now. So this digital sale is also a great way to get those volumes that you might be missing. Believe me, we're definitely interested in working on getting some more reprints out, but we have to work with the licensor and the estate of Koike. So we'll update you as soon as we can. But for now, you can get all of the digital volumes for 50% off at digital.darkhorse.com.
Yeah, pick them up if you can. And for anybody excited about the new versions of shows that you might find on from other publishers like Mandalorian, stories that are kind of based on this original story and a lot of the original themes that you find of the lone wolf taking in the cub and how that relationship unfolds. It's just an amazing epic story that has so much drama and humor, and definitely worth tracking down.
Yeah,
great time to get started.
Series. Yeah, never a bad time.
That's right, never a bad time. The next title on our list today is getting back to celebrating the 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. Dark Horse, we're partnering with Sega to present Sonic the Hedgehog's Encyclopedia, a must-have volume for any fan of the world's speediest hedgehog. He's arrives July 1st of 2021, but the announcement is live today, so to let everybody know. Dive into the extensive lore and the exhaustive detail of each of the games in Sonic's universe, from the beloved Sega Genesis to the most bleeding-edge video game consoles. This tome leaves no stone unturned, showcasing the in-depth looks at the characters, settings, stories from each exciting installment. So take a look, get ready for it. It's going to be fun. It's very interesting to see the resurgence of Sonic as it has met new license partners over the years, and it's been fun to watch their partnerships with Nintendo and other people bringing life back into something that was such a iconic challenger to Mario at the time. So it's fun to see it And a lot of nostalgia in this. And I love seeing these encyclopedias that have so many of the details you might have missed when playing the game originally, because there's so much that went into what it took to bring stuff like this to life that just didn't exist before these games were released. So it's fun to see how it all unfolded.
Yeah. This encyclopedia was one of the first and only things that Sega has revealed yet about the Sonic 30th anniversary launch. So stay tuned for more. But pretty exciting to get to partner with them on this. We do a lot of Nintendo titles, of course, but it's fun to go back to the Sega ones. And I did not have a Sega as a kid. I only had a Nintendo, and so I used to have to go to Toys R Us to play
Oh,
Sonic
dang.
on their on their in-store
Nice.
consoles. But I love that game though. And my friends, had it at their houses too. But yeah, so Sonic retrospective. It'll be another fun kind of retro game art book. And as you may know, we do a lot of really great video game art books like the Cyberpunk one. So if
Yeah.
you're a fan of both the nostalgia around Sonic or just our beautiful art books, definitely worth checking out.
There you go.
We had another video game related, actually, a lot of video game related announcements this week. And the next one that I'm excited to present to you is one that I worked closely with the team on, Overwatch. It's been a bit since we had some new comics, but we announced the next comics this week, and they star someone you might know, Tracer. I know there have been some past Tracer comics, but hey, we have a really fun story. This one is called Tracer London Calling, and it picks up kind of right after Overwatch disbands. So we have a little teaser that I think we'll play first, and then I'll tell you a bit more about the comics if
All right.
if
Let's
we're
pull
ready
this
to
together.
go.
Got a slideshow. Our teaser here. All right, here we go. Sweet. Such a fun one. I love that clip at the end. It gives us the tease of the new skin.
So that was the little teaser that we put out into the world with Overwatch on Monday. And it revealed to you the creative team, which I am incredibly excited about, Mariko Tamaki and Babstar. Absolutely phenomenal. Both of them, you would know them from many other things. Babstar, our closest connection to Babs is Critical Role. She's done some cover art and some other art for the comics and art books that we do with Critical Role, for example. She also, of course, is on things like Batgirl and Motor Crush. And Mariko, of course, is the writer of Laura Dean Keeps Breaking Up With Me and Lumberjanes, and is just phenomenal. So such an exciting team. Really excited to work on these books, and to finally, after much preparation, to be able to show you what we have been working on. So stay tuned for some more exciting updates, lots more cool Babs art. We'll actually play another little teaser after this, but I just want to give you a few more details about the book. So this initial series, Overwatch Tracer London Calling, the first issue is available digitally right now. We launched it on Monday along with that teaser. That'll be the first of 5 issues. And so it's available digitally at digital.darkhorse.com and also playoverwatch.com. We've done this before if you're familiar with Overwatch and with our previous comics, always available digitally for free, and in over 13 languages. So players around the world can join the hero. So wherever you are and wherever you're reading the comics, we have done our best to make them available to you in your area as well. So also, I would be remiss if I did not point out that Overwatch is offering an in-game event as well. It's called the Tracer Comic Challenge, and players can earn a brand new epic skin, which is comic book Tracer. And you'll see a little bit more about that in the next little teaser that we'll play. But there's a lot of other cosmetic goodies, sprays, lots of comic book themed extras. So We're really excited to partner with Blizzard on this one, and they're just pulling out all the stops to support the comics, which is really nice. And so hopefully you'll have some fun. I know it's not Overwatch 2 yet, but
Right.
it's something fun and new. And, we continue to work with them, so stay tuned for what's next. But as I said, 5-issue series. Issue number 1 has begun. Next one will be out next month. They'll continue to come out monthly. And after that, they'll be collected, of course. They'll be available in print. And the first issue will hit shelves in December. So stay tuned for more info on that. And Rex is stepping on my keyboard, which I'm going to take as a signal to play the second teaser that we have.
Here we go. That's right. Quick little interview with Babstar, artist on the new books. And so it's a good time.
I get excited about comics because I get to work with a team. You know, when I'm working alone, it's not as much fun, but when I'm on a book, I get to work with a writer and a publisher, editor. There's like a magic when all those things like come together, and then you get to see this like final product that like tells a story and takes people on a ride, and that's something really special. You don't get that. Hi, I'm Babstar. I'm a comic book artist and illustrator. When I'm working on something, I always try to make it capture fun and fashion, make sure it falls in line with my interests, and that way when I'm having fun, you guys are having fun when you read it. I think my favorite panel in issue 1 is when Tracer gets to see Iggy and her friends hang out and she's zooming around. So that was really fun to get to design what that room looks like and have the friends kind of be like, who the heck is this person? I love that Tracer is always trying to be positive and help out. I feel like, especially in our book, she's just trying to do her best and do what she can. You gotta love that type of message these days. The skin is super cool. Arn, the art director, he sent me his pass on it, and then I kind of sent him a bunch of choices and some tweaks to it and added some cool designs, kind of lines to the jacket and color, and kind of some alternatives to the leggings that have my comic panels on it. Lauren had her hair a certain way when I first got it, and then I changed it to like white gray, which was like what my hair looked like at the time. So a little bit of a Babstar / Tracer skin, which I would never have thought to have seen in my whole life. Thanks you guys for listening to me chat about the project, and I hope you read the comic and enjoy it and check out the skin. I hope you guys have fun. Bye.
So fun.
Babs is great.
Yeah.
Very excited to, as I said, be able to show you all the cool stuff she's been working on now. And yeah, the series has had a lot of time and care put into it. So I hope you all check it out and enjoy it. And hey, it's free digitally for now. And then yes, there will be print ones later. I know it's been kind of a common question on social media. And this is Rex. He's getting fur in my face and drooling on my keyboard. So say hello to your adoring fans, Rex.
That's right. Featured time, Rex. Featured time.
Yeah.
He just gets jealous. He doesn't want you talking to all the people on the internet.
He's a ham. Like, because of COVID, of course, we don't have people over, and he loves people. So he hears me start talking, and he hears other people on the calls, and he comes to like get attention. I don't know. Well, so like I said, Overwatch, Tracer, London Calling, check it out. Available digitally from us and from Blizzard's Overwatch. And yeah, stay tuned for more info on that. And Gary has our third and final announcement before we get into the new releases.
Jumping into our next video game related title, much discussed online, I suppose you could say, controversial title right now. For all that aside, Art of Immortals Phoenix Rising, new Ubisoft title. This is our fanciful, full-colored hardcover chronicling the development of this hotly anticipated video game, Immortals Phoenix Rising from Ubisoft. Creative team of Ubisoft Quebec presents this fantastical world based on mythological tales, rife with creatures such as the Minotaur, gigantic Cyclops, the evil Chimera, ferocious Harpies, and the terrifying Medusa. This volume offers an inside look at the craft behind that massive and magical land, whereas readers will find themselves taking part in a heroic journey that spans the lush, paradisical lands of Aphrodite, the goddess of love, through the scarred battlefield and fortress of Ares, the god of war, up to Mount Olympus, home of the mighty Zeus, down into the darkest corners of the underworld. Not only does this book lend insights into the designs of Phoenix, the new winged Greek hero, with their legendary weapons and armor, but also the environments that players will explore, the creatures they will encounter, and most importantly, the gods themselves, who seek aid against the fearsome Titan and father of all monsters, Typhon. So check it out. This one's going to be really interesting to see how much of a preview it gives us of how big that world's going to be, and it looks quite impressive.
Yeah, if you watch the Ubisoft Forward conference a couple days ago, they showed off a lot of gameplay and the world and environments. Looks really fun. I am a big fan of Greek mythology, so I'm kind of intrigued. We have been working with Ubisoft on a number of titles and announcements lately, so this is kind of the latest in that batch. Previously, we announced comics and an art book for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And also there's digital comics for Hyperscape. So a lot of cool stuff. I'm happy to partner with Ubisoft on those things. So yeah, that's another one. You can find details about all three of these announcements at darkhorse.com, right on our homepage, and they're basically in our blog. So darkhorse.com/blog if you want to jump straight there for more info. And all of them are available for pre-order now, all of the art books that we just talked about. And with that, we can get into the new releases, which I'm sure all Umbrella Academy fans especially are excited about. So I am pleased to present You Look Like Death, Tales from the Umbrella Academy #1, which is the first ever Umbrella Academy spin-off series starring everyone's favorite character, okay, a lot of people's favorite character, Klaus Hargreaves, aka The Seance. And so this series is written, of course, by Gerard Way with Sean Simon, who you might know from the Killjoys comics. And the artist on this one, we've had this person on stream with us previously for some of his other comics work, Ian Colbard, INJ Colbard. He does a fantastic interpretation of this series. I think you'll really enjoy it. We still have Gabriel Ba on cover art, of course. He does a cover for every single issue, but he's a little bit busy. So we're happy to work with Colbard, who's just phenomenal. He also is the artist on Burger Books Offering Everything with Christopher Cantwell. So, and I'm sure you've seen his work on other books as well, but definitely check this out. The letterer, as always, is Nate Picos, who's just fantastic. He letters tons of our books. And we have variant covers, which we're kind of scrolling through now. One is by Ian Colbard, and then the third one for this, so there are two variants. The third is by Leo Romero, and all three of them are amazing, and I love them, and you should look at them as they're scrolling by here. I especially love the one you'll see. I like the Colbard. So the one that I'm seeing right now is the Gabriel Ba one, which they're all phenomenal, but I just love the jokes they work into them. So look at them closely and you'll see what I mean. So as I said, this is the first ever miniseries that focuses on one of the Umbrella Academy members. In this one, we go back to when they're teens, and Klaus manages to get himself kicked out of the Umbrella Academy, kicked out of home, and he decides to take a trip where his talents will be appreciated, which is, of course, Hollywood. So travel with Klaus, 18-year-old Klaus, back to Hollywood and see what shenanigans he gets into. Vampires, drug lords, you know, the kind of things that a boy who can see dead people encounters. So this is very exciting. It's the first, as I said, of a mini series. So check that out. We'll have monthly installments and 2 variant covers for each one. So not to be missed if you're an Umbrella Academy fan.
Yeah, this one looks fun, especially with so much popularity for Klaus in the TV series. It's a great, and I love the contrast between Klaus in the comics versus Klaus in the TV show, and you can see how the TV show character grew out of Klaus in the comics. So this will be fun to see sort of where it all began and how much of that humor is interwoven in. And so many, like you said, here we are, Will Haunt for Ludes. So many dark jokes in there. They're just hilarious and wrong, but very, very funny.
Yeah.
Good time.
If you're a fan of the show, I think you'll still really enjoy this comic. It's a great place to jump in. You don't have to have read the previous ones, although of course I recommend that you do. And if you're newer to comics, which I know is often the case when folks have seen the series first, comics do come out monthly typically and on Wednesdays, which is why we do this Wednesday new comic book rundown. Get them from comic shops. If you do not know where a comic shop is near you, comicshoplocator.com can definitely help you, even if you're outside the US. They have a tool for outside North America. Our comics are available worldwide in English. So wherever you are, hopefully you'll be able to get them. And then another option is digital, digital.darkhorse.com or Comixology or any of those sites as well. So
And we've always got a retail partner, Things from Another World. So tfaw.com, international sales that way as well. If you're having trouble finding other partners locally, but definitely check Comic Shop Locator to see what you can find close by, since availability will usually be better, especially with so many things adding pressure to shipping lines these days. If somebody's already got it in town or has ordered ahead of time, get it from them first, because you'll get it without having to wait for many weeks, especially if we have to cross an ocean.
Yes. Yeah, that is a big challenge right now. I know it can be frustrating. Unfortunately, we don't necessarily have all the info about when a retailer is going to get something, but thank you for your patience. COVID has delayed shipping, especially international shipping. So we're doing what we can.
All the lines
and
we can move.
That's our only single issue for this week. Actually, single issues have slowed down quite a bit due to COVID. They're coming back. They're starting to get back on the schedule. You're going to see more and more of them listed on websites in the previews catalog, which comic shops use. So you'll see new release dates, and I'll touch on that again more in a bit, actually. But so this is our only single issue this week that's new, but we have lots of books as well. So Gary has the first of our graphic novels.
Yeah, jumping into our first graphic novel new release this week, we're talking about Flower of the Witch. This one is from Italian creator Enrico Orlandi, and this is the first time this is going to be available in English. This is the story of Tommy, who has traveled long and far from his home in the South, forbidden to return until he has become a man. This is a coming-of-age story about defeating monsters and saving princesses. Defeating those things have not been enough, and he must now find the fabled Flower of the Witch. But in his quest, Tommy inadvertently sparks a feud between the villagers who shelter him and the demon Yabra. And when the conflict comes to a head, Tommy will have to choose between proving himself as a man and protecting the villagers he's come to love. So this one is beautiful artwork. I wish we had more interiors from this, but such a wonderful style, and I'm very eager to see how this one turned out in its English translation. Because again, this has been available in Italian prior to now, but this will be the first paperback of this season, this week. But this looks like a beautiful release. I'm looking forward to seeing how it looks when we get it.
It's a young adult, and up age story. One of our many international titles that we're fortunate to have, especially lately. So very, very happy to be able to bring this to English audiences for the first time. And I hope you check it out. I know it's been getting some good reviews. School Library Journal and Multiversity and some other websites. And we'll continue to share those too. So you can check them out if you want a little bit more info. I'm going to move Rex aside for a moment because I need to stream. But so that is one of several books that we have available this week. As I mentioned, we also do occasionally publish prose, not just comics and art. So we have a prose novel out this week, Return of the Wizard King, which is the Wizard King Trilogy, Book 1. These are written by Chad Corey, and the cover art is by fantasy artist Micah Epstein. Really fantastic artwork. We've done some process pieces and given you a glimpse behind the scenes on our website. You can check that out, darkhorse.com/blog. Really cool to see behind the scenes and see how the sci-fi fantasy paintings kind of come together and get his take on how he works. Also, we have an interview with Chad Corey himself and kind of creating fantasy worlds and how he makes them believable. So if you're interested in the fantasy genre, I would definitely check those out. Really interesting look behind the scenes of bringing a fantasy novel to life. In this particular book, We have a motley crew of adventurers who are brought together when they agree to take a job. The write-up is kind of interesting. I'll give you the little blurb that we have. The gladiator sold his soul for revenge. The knight's a bigot. The dwarf only cares about regaining his honor. Even the wizardess seems too bookish for anyone's good. But they've all been hired by a blind seer to retrieve some forgotten knowledge long hidden away in a jungle-strangled ruin. Get in, get out, get paid. At least that's what they thought. Instead, they uncover hidden agendas and an ancient power struggle centuries in the making. So a lot going on in this world. Chad has created an immense fantasy world that you get a peek into if you check out the interview with him on our blog. But this is, as I said, the beginning of a trilogy. Check it out. Available at comic shops and bookstores because we're Dark Horse. So comic shops can get their hands on these prose titles too. And see what you think. We are offering a signed copy of this in our giveaway this week. Just a reminder. So you get a copy of both the Umbrella Academy You Look Like Death #1, as well as a signed copy of The Return of the Wizard King. So, maybe you'll enjoy it. Get you to check it out. To enter the giveaway, just a quick reminder, enter the keyword Klaus in chat, Klaus. You only need to do it once and we've got your entry. So Return of the Wizard King. There you have it.
There it is. So the next trade paperback we have on our list today is a new version, second edition actually, of Hench Girl. And so this one's long awaited, great series, amazing ongoing story. And our blurb for the week for this one is Mariposa hates her job. She works long hours for little pay, no insurance, and worst of all, no respect. Her coworkers are jerks, and her boss doesn't appreciate her. He's also a supervillain. Cursed with a conscience, Mary would give anything to be something other than a hench girl. So this is our second edition printing, offering all of the humor and henching you love, along with extra new hench girl story.
I love Hench Girl. It's amazing. By Kristen Gudsnuck, who's also amazing. So very excited to have a new edition.
Such a fun spin on the genre, and so fun to hear that all the jokes we make about what are the stories of the hench people in these comics. Well, here we are, and she really gets to get us the seamy underbelly and all the hilarity that ensues there.
It's really fun, and also has really strong themes throughout. I've seen some people wonder whether it is young adult or for kids just because of the art style. I would say no. I would say at most young adult up, because there's a little bit of like adult themes in it, but really good, really enjoyable. If you're not familiar with Kristen's work, definitely check her out. And Hench Girl is fantastic. So highly recommended.
Definitely. Put her on the list if it isn't there already.
Another one that I love, and I'm not just saying that because I work for Dark Horse, but Blackwood. So last week we had Evan Dorganon as a guest on stream because of the new Bill and Ted comics, which he also writes. Evan has done comics for years. We love Evan. We publish a lot of his work. And one of his most recent series is this one, Blackwood. This is the second mini-series so far, Blackwood the Morning After. And this collects all 4 issues of that second mini-series. It's kind of horror, but definitely with humor. So Blackwood College is in mourning after the death of their dean, and now they're searching for a traitor in their midst. We're following a group of 4 students who have arrived at this school to basically learn magic. I wouldn't compare it to anything like Harry Potter. Honestly, I've seen some write-ups that do, and that's just because it's a magical school. Very different take.
Yeah, much more like The Magicians, if you watch the TV show The Magicians, but a much more, not necessarily adult version of it, but a darker spin, but a lot more flavor to it, a lot less young adult. And I love the tagline, "Will mayhem ensue?" Duh.
Yeah.
So it's definitely of that attitude and a lot of that flavor, but it's a lot of fun for sure.
It's got, you know, like some horror humor gags. It's kind of a blend of horror, humor, crime, everything. And if you know Evan's writing, then you know you're going to get some humor. The art is by Veronica Fish and Andy Fish, and I love it. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I want to do black velvet, blacklight posters of all of it.
Yes.
The cover
So
art
excited for
is
that.
it's just an example. All the interiors are like that as well. So colorist on this one, on this series is Greg McKenna. So absolutely, I cannot recommend it highly enough. I would start with the first one, which is also available in a trade paperback now. So Blackwood and then Blackwood the Morning After, now both available wherever comics and books are sold in paperback. And if you would like to see them do more, you should definitely get in on these now. I should also mention variant covers. We've attracted some really great talent for those too. So Andrew McLean, Peach Momoko, fabulous. Those will be included in the trades as well. So
Nice.
don't miss these. Blackwood, both volumes 1 and 2 available now.
And then jumping back to our video game series, we've got another art book to highlight. We've got the God of War Lore and Legends hardcover. And this one, as we were talking about earlier, is basically a collection that is the journal of the in-game book, which is fantastic. And I'm going to have to highlight Kara's camera here just so we can see more closely, because she's got the actual hardcover in hand. So definitely check this one out. It's definitely an amazing collection, and I always love seeing how these assets can be brought together to give us more out of such an epic game.
Yeah, it's a really beautifully crafted book. You really can't tell from here, but it's got deckled edges, which gives it that kind of rough, as though it were made from handmade paper appearance. Not a mistake, that's done on purpose. And as Gary said, you can kind of see in the gutter here, which is the center of the book, it looks like it's bound in a journal. The cover as well is textured, kind of feels like it's maybe made out of some sort of whatever skin Atreus and Kratos had. I don't know. It's not real. Don't worry. But
Right,
it
yes.
has
Just
a nice
simulation, but it looks really good.
And this, yeah, it's a beautifully put together book. The artwork is gorgeous. It's full of little tidbits and notes. The bestiary is something new. So you get what was in the game, but then you get more as well. On top of that, you get things you didn't really get to maybe see in as much depth in the game. So if you're a fan of the God of War game, strongly recommend you check this out. Available widely now at both bookstores and comic shops. And I was excited to show you the physical one just a little bit. So I have that here. And that actually wraps us up. Like I said, we don't have too many new single issue releases yet because we're getting back on track following COVID. So mostly books. And check back the last few weeks, we've had some more new releases. We'll keep highlighting those throughout the month. I know shipping has been a bit slow due to COVID, but bear with us. They're coming, especially things we get asked about a lot, like Avatar and Korra. Absolutely, reprints have already begun. They're already being sent out to retailers. So just check back in with your stores and see how soon you can get things like that. I'm going to draw a winner in the giveaway right now. Looks like, congratulations to JSMK3. It's the winner who has been drawn in our giveaway. You will win a signed copy of The Return of the Wizard King and also copies of The Umbrella Academy You Look Like Death, issue number 1. So that's pretty cool. Congrats. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for participating in the chat. We will be back every Wednesday. We stream. Sometimes we have special guests. We did recently have the Legend of Korra live reading to conclude Turf Wars Part 1. And then last week we had that Bill and Ted stream with Evan and Roger and Dan and Brennan from Dark Horse 2. And after that, we'll see. Stay tuned. We'll announce when we have more special guests. But every week, come, news or not, we'll be here with the new Comic Book Day rundown, and we'll talk about announcements as well. And this VOD and the Legend of Korra VOD will be available on our YouTube. Legend of Korra is coming up on Friday. You can go to our YouTube and you'll see the placeholder. It's going to premiere on Friday, so check that out. We'll be announcing that everywhere. And the other VODs will be added to our new Comic Book Day playlist, so check back for those. I think that's about it.
Thanks again, everybody. Always wonderful to have you. Always wonderful to be able to talk with you directly for a little bit. And
I see this in the chat. I'm going to stop this rumor right now. No new Korra announcement.
Right.
Korra live stream VOD, which is the video on demand, is coming on Friday to YouTube.
Right.
You can catch the live stream recording of the reading on YouTube.
Yes, if you missed it last week or missed it 2 weeks ago, you can see it now, closed caption, all of the different features we have available to us on YouTube. Be launching on the YouTube channel as the video on demand, effectively.
Yeah. We know not everybody can make these live streams, so we definitely make all of these available to you to watch forever. And so we'll announce that and blast that all across social media. So stay tuned for that. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, stay safe, read comics, take care.